because of the fire.
Okay.
They're just making sure that this bypass isn't, nobody's parking along it, nobody's taking photos. It's not,
okay.
It's not like they're trying to hide anything, but it's actually a emergency thing down there.
I filmed with a button camera.
They don't want nobody stopping on the side and taking photos.
I could be arrested for doing this right now. You can't take a picture.
Anybody can take pictures. No one can stop you guys from taking pictures.
He said we were going to get arrested.
It's
Picture.
kind of pushing, puffing the chest.
But it's part of the emergency proclamation that this whole area is deemed under the wildfire disaster area. If you guys park here, that's technically in violation.
I was wondering if he was going to detain me.
No, they're probably just being assholes, man. Asking for the emergency law. I'm a policeman in Honolulu, and I never heard of that.
People are missing still?
Unaccounted for. Their bodies got cremated, so they're like dust. So it's hard to get the DNA off them. The dogs can come in and try to get a scent, and then they run the DNA.
It's like, how does that work with like the First Amendment and stuff like that?
We want to stop and do like a news report on the side of the road.
You would be able to do it where it's not in front of the burn zone. I don't know if there's anything set up for journalists. We don't want to arrest, but usually on the second offense, because it is within the proclamation.
They're only all these, unmarked cars. They park on the side of the road.
Like feds or?
I don't know who they are.
And when are you filing this lawsuit?
About 5 minutes.
And where are you filing it?
Federal court. And we're just trying to make sure that the government is kept in check. Otherwise, they would go unhinged.
James O'Keefe here on Lahaina Bypass in Maui. We just spoke to this officer on the corner of Lahaina Bypass and Kai Heleku Street, and he told us about the governor's emergency proclamation, suspending First Amendment rights here in Maui, saying that you cannot photograph past Kai Heleku Street or you will be arrested. With the governor's emergency, like what is the rule?
So if you want to look it up, it's on the HRS. It's just the Hawaii Revised Statutes. It's 127 Alpha 29.
127 Alpha 29?
Yeah.
That's the
it's on the Hawaii Revised Statute.
Hawaii Revised Statute?
Yes.
Okay, and just what does that mean?
Because of the fire.
Okay.
They're just making sure that this bypass isn't, nobody's parking along it, nobody's taking photos for safety. It's not like they're trying to hide anything, but it's actually a emergency thing down there.
I filmed with a button camera, my colleague with a camera in the brim of the phone. He did not know that you were recording, but he did inform me that if I was to record past this street, then I would be arrested.
What did he say?
Dude, he was all in.
So he gave us the statute and everything.
Yeah.
He says you're not allowed to take photos from his point out.
Yeah.
With this emergency revised statute.
He said from this road all the way, you can't stop. You can't take pictures of the ocean. You can't take any pictures. And he
from
said
this moment here, and I was like, where does the website tell us that this is the part? No photos of the ocean or whatnot.
Yeah, they don't want nobody stopping on the side and taking photos.
Got it. Does the website show us that rule or that law, or?
I don't believe it does.
He said from this road all the way that way, he goes, it's all military National Guard checkpoints.
There's a checkpoint, National Guard checkpoint.
Okay.
You can try and check in over there and see if they'll allow you guys in there.
All right, so you're looking at Lahaina right there. Downtown Lahaina. This is the zone where we're not allowed to photograph. The police officer telling me that I'm not supposed to be doing this. I could be arrested for doing this right now. I'm not supposed to be filming, but we are filming because we have a First Amendment right to film. Now, we talked to two members of the National Guard using a hidden camera, and the first guardsman said that the cops don't know what they're talking about, that we can, in fact, film. What's your name?
Chase.
Chase?
Yeah, Aki.
Are you guys like police or?
We're just National Guard.
The National Guard?
Yeah.
They brought the National Guard in?
Yeah.
Why did this happen?
A few weeks ago I had a storm. It was all wind, heavy wind. So outside everything was catching.
What about the sirens? Did those work?
Sirens? No, the sirens wasn't going off.
It wasn't?
I'm not too sure.
Why not?
I'm not too sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of big deal with.
How many people died?
A lot. It's bad.
Wow.
Shoot, most of Lahaina is all shut down this way right now.
It's all shut down?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because of the fire. 80-90% of Lahaina burned.
We was taking a picture with him on the ocean, and some state trooper said, oh, you can't do that. You can't take a picture. You know what I mean?
anybody can take pictures. No one can stop you guys from taking pictures.
Well, he's like, so we're going to get arrested if you take a picture. I was just taking a picture of my buddy in front of the ocean.
Yeah, it's sensitive, that's why right now with everybody.
It's like, how does that work with like the First Amendment and stuff like that?
Like no one can stop you from taking a picture, but there's a lot of people that's gonna try to be like.
He said we were going to get arrested if we take a picture.
Kind of pushing, puffing the chest.
We pulled off to the side of the road and spoke with a deputy sheriff. He got rather invasive in the vehicle. I showed him the revised statute, and he told us again that we cannot record. Can we take a picture?
Of here?
Yeah.
Not really. We're trying to keep people off the bypass.
Or just from on the road?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm a little confused because earlier the officer said we couldn't, but we checked with the National Guard and they said that we could. So what is the reason that we can't take a picture?
Well, it's part of the emergency proclamation that this whole area is deemed under the wildfire disaster area.
Which one is it? Oh, I see. Emergency period infractions, violations, misdemeanors, and misdemeanors.
Does it say in there you can't take photos and stuff?
Well, it's saying that you're not supposed to park over here. So if you guys park here, that's technically in violation.
All right. That answers the question, I guess. He got rather invasive in the vehicle.
All right.
Officer W. Akua. He was getting a little too close for comfort with me.
He was.
I was wondering if he was going to detain me. Now, we spoke to another guardsman. Again, I was using the hidden camera, button camera. The second guardsman said that the police are, quote, assholes for telling us that we cannot record. Are we not allowed to take pictures?
Nobody's. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing?
Yeah, you can take pictures there, sure.
Oh, the cops were like threatening to arrest me.
No, they're probably just being assholes, man.
Whoa. Whoa, man. That guardsman himself is a police officer from Honolulu. He's like, oh, there's an emergency law. You can't do that. We'll arrest you.
Ask him for the emergency law.
Asking him for the law. He said it was some statute, revised statute.
I'm a policeman in Honolulu, and I never heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
He said the governor declared an emergency.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he can always recite the statute for you if he knows it.
He said it was 127.
127A.
Yeah, he can pull it up on his computer and show you.
Like, what happened here?
Some kind of brush fire. Some kind of fire happened, and the winds were crazy that day, so it just carried on.
Wow. Wow. A lot of people died?
Good amount, yeah.
My buddy was saying that people are missing still?
Unaccounted for.
Unaccounted for?
Yeah.
Does that mean
just means most of them, they got like cremated, yeah.
What's that?
Their bodies like got cremated, so they're like dust. So it's hard to get the DNA off them. That's why we're holding the scene, so that way the dogs can come and then try to get a scent, and then they run the DNA.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow, man. And then like how many people do you think it is?
I don't know the real number. I assume a good amount.
Like 1,000?
Probably.
Is the media telling us the truth?
I don't know. I don't watch the news, man. It makes me sad.
So we have conflicting reports between the sheriff and the police and the National Guard. One of the National Guardsmen being a police officer here in Lahaina, clearly a violation of the First Amendment.
If we want to stop and do like a news report on the side of the road, they won't allow us to do that?
You would be able to do it where it's not in front of the burn zone.
So I spoke with the Maui Police Department here wearing a hidden camera and asked, how is any of this compatible with the First Amendment? The officer gave me a very strange reply saying, well, you can record, but you can't record. I asked the police officer, how is this compatible with the First Amendment?
Why not in front of the burn zone?
Because usually that's the perimeter where they shut down. I don't know if there's anything set up for journalists.
No.
You can record whatever you want. We're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
But if you're stopped inside of the burn zone area, they're going to tell you to move because of the proclamation.
The burn zone being the shoulder of the bypass?
Right.
Would you get like arrested if you did it, or what's the penalty?
Preferably, we don't want to arrest, but usually on the second offense because it is within the proclamation.
Is it normal for the governor? You said it was under the proclamation. Is it normal for the governor just to like unilaterally sort of change the landscape of the law in Hawaii? Is that something common?
Would probably be a question for him.
I don't have his phone number, unfortunately.
I don't have it either.
So we're standing outside the boundary where the sheriff said that we cannot film over there. but we believe that we can walk over there and film. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk a few hundred meters over to this shoulder on the public bypass road highway where a lot of people drive on, and continue with our video reporting of this burn zone. The sheriff's told me the burn came all the way here. This is the perimeter. The burn came all the way here.
From there, from Lahaina, the town, it came all the way here.
And they don't want people like us taking video or photos here, right?
Yeah, well, I was parked on the side of the road over here yesterday because I was on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they came up to me. I can't park there. I told them I'm on the phone. I'm parking on the side of the road.
They told you can't even park there. You live right there.
Yeah, I live up in the hill, but I had a phone call, so I parked on the side in the safe area over there. Yeah, on the pavement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they came up to me and told me I can't park there.
What did you do?
I told them that he's dismissed.
You told him he's dismissed?
Yeah.
And what did he say back?
He left.
So you just ignored him and he left.
I just ignored him. But then he moved, he parked behind of me and just stayed there.
Was that a sheriff or an MPD?
I don't know who they were. They're only all these, unmarked cars. They park on the side of the road.
Like feds or?
I don't know who they are.
They told us that we'd be arrested if we do that. You just told him he's dismissed.
Yeah. I'm 14th generation Kanaka Maoli. I live up in the valley there. I lost family in the fire.
What's your name?
Yeah. Keone.
Keone?
Yeah.
You told that person when they stopped you, you're dismissed.
Yeah.
And what was his response?
He just quiet and just backed up. He backed up and his car behind me and just stayed there.
That is how it's done. So I'm with attorney Mike Yoder, who's decided to file a lawsuit in light of some of these revelations. Mike, what do you intend to do?
The first and most important thing is just so people in Hawaii and Lahaina understand that what we're trying to do is ensure that the land that they are so, sincere about and that they care so much about isn't taken from them a second time. A lot of the animosity and hostility is understandable based on the history and the culture that is very deeply rooted in Hawaii. But if we don't have the freedom of the press, we don't have the freedom of speech, and people are kept in the dark as to what the government's doing and what is going on, then there's no way to ever have a people-led or people-controlled society. So the first step we're going to take down is the suppression of electronic media, make sure people are able to speak freely. Second step is to take out the criminal provisions of people exercising their rights that are guaranteed under both the U.S. Constitution and the Hawaiian Constitution.
And when are you filing this lawsuit?
About 5 minutes from right now.
And where are you filing it?
Federal court.
And this is the statute, the revised statute that we've been hearing about?
Revised statute 127A-13 is where the provisions are. They're criminalizing it under section 29, which doesn't have a single clause that prohibits anything that we did today or yesterday. So we will get to the bottom of it.
And that was that part of the statute where he said that it's a misdemeanor and you can't be on the side of the road. Which one is it? Sorry.
No. I believe it's right here. Emergency period infractions, violations, and misdemeanors.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor to violate any provision of the chapter, but it doesn't point to which section of the chapter out of the 32 that exist, and then some of which have 13 to 20 subsections under each, so it's like shooting in the dark as to guessing what you did wrong, which also violates the 14th Amendment and your due process rights to know what you're being accused of doing.
And if people want to support you, how can they do that?
You guys can go to MauiLegalPreservationFund.org. I'm not taking $1 from any of the people here. I'm representing them entirely for free. I'm also not doing it on contingency. There's nothing that's coming out of these people's pockets. It's mainly to preserve and protect their land, and we're doing it through a nonprofit, People Help the People, Inc., which is a Hawaiian business that we have registered here. And we're just trying to make sure that the government is kept in check. Otherwise, they will go unhinged.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reporting from Lahaina, Hawaii, this is James O'Keefe with OMG recording, even though I am not supposed to.
I'm already thinking about ways for the state to acquire that land so that we can put it into workforce housing, to put it back into families, or to make it open spaces in perpetuity as a memorial to people who were lost.